The 2007 WIPO patent report released last week is quite a comprehensive and informative document. It highlights the changing geography of innovation with highest patenting growth rates in Northeast Asia, with an emphasis on sharp rise in patent filings in China. The conclusion of the report seems to be based on at least the following two assumptions. First, patent application is an indicator of inventive activity. Second, recent patent filings are a reliable indicator of underlying inventive activity in the country. In our view, however, it is perhaps too early to draw such a definite conclusion on changing geography of innovation. The relationship between sharp rise in patent filings and innovation capacity may not be so straightforward. Here, two questions need to be raised. Does the number of the patent applications filed reflect the level of the innovation capacity of a country? And does the count by the applicant's country of residence, in this case China, reflect the level of the innovation capacity of the Chinese nationals? It's pretty difficult to establish a clear affirmative answer to either question. In this regard, there is a need to clarify how two types of misinterpretation could happen. The first one is about the patent filings. What does the indicator of patent filings really tell? In my opinion, what patent filings could reflect is, among others, the attractiveness of the country's patenting system. So this indicator does not necessarily give a full picture about inventive performance of a country. Specifically, some element must be taken into account when interpreting the trend of the patent filings in China. For instance, utility model and industry design are also considered as patents in China. It significantly enlarged the number of the patents filed in China and hence overall Chinese innovation capacity. As some may know, the value of the two types of patents above is relatively small, as no substantive patent examination is required. A closer look at the distribution of the patents filed by the Chinese nationals shows that most of them belong to the two types of the low-value patents. As a result, the sharp rise of the patent filings in industry design and utility model may not mean a significant improvement in innovation capacity there. More detailed analysis on the rise in the two types of patents concerned could be very useful. The second type of misinterpretation could occur when one looks at the patent applicant's country of residence. What patent filing count by the applicant's country of residence imply? We have to be clear that counts by the applicant's country of residence are not the same thing as those by the inventor's country of residence. The difference is that an applicant is the owner of the patent at the time of application, whereas an inventor is not necessarily the owner of the patent at the time of application. Accordingly, the interpretations of two counts could be very different. Counts by the inventor's country of residence indicate the inventiveness of the local capacity, while counts by the applicant's country of residence show control over the inventions. Specifically, several elements have not been explicitly taken into account, particularly when interpreting the China's recent patent filings. The first point is about definition of recent patent in China. The recent patent in China is not defined as a patent filed by the Chinese nationals. The connotation of the recent patent under Chinese law is much broader. For instance, the patents filed by multinational corporations in China are also considered as recent patents, which is not always the case in other countries. Just to illustrate this point with an example, a patent filed by LG Electronics in China is counted as Chinese recent patents. It's clear that these recent patent filings may not reflect the real level of the local inventiveness capacity in China. The second point is about patent quality. In China, the majority of the patents filed by the Chinese nationals are the second patents, which means the exploitation of the patent cannot be exploited without the first patent. In contrast, a majority of the first patents are filed by non-Chinese nationals. One should be aware that the level of the market power is significantly different between the two types of patents. In addition, the majority of the patents filed by Chinese nationals are in low value-added sectors, such as traditional medicines, etc., while the majority of the high-tech patents are filed by non-Chinese nationals. The breakdown of the patent filings by low versus high value-added sectors seems to be missing in WIPO patent report. To sum up, it is perhaps fair to say that the conclusion of the 2007 WIPO patent report in terms of the changing geography of innovation based on patenting growth rates in Northeast Asia is lack of convincing power. The issue not only relates to how to interpret correctly the figures on patent filings and the recent patent filings, but also to some crucial underlying factors that should have been taken into account in this very important exercise. We should try harder to avoid hasty generalizations on the changing geography innovation patterns. To facilitate appropriate policy responses, developing countries should be cautious in accepting such interpretation of the counts on patent filings. Furthermore, it is in the interest of all stakeholders to make joint efforts in trying to develop a proper set of indicators to monitor the changes of innovation capacity in each and every place, especially in the developing countries. Thank you.